kinds of stuff historically have been used from teas, from ancient times to present. Um, some of my favorite teas are lemon balm. Lemon balm is an easy to make tea. It's an herb. It's in the mint family. Looks a little bit like mint, but it's not as invasive as mint. It's a great potted plant. This is a great plant for folks that live in apartments and things like that, because you can put it in a small pot, put it on your patio, and have a nice herb that you can use. It can also be used in desserts, but to make tea with this one, this is actually one that's in your handout that talks about how to make. For the ag associates here, this is an easy one to propagate. You can take cuttings and root those, and that's what I've done here. You can actually see the cutting. So these are great tea plants. A lot of people don't think of catnip as a tea, but actually catnip is a great tea. Catnip makes a sleepy time tea. So if you have trouble falling asleep at night, catnip is the tea for you. This is a good tea. It does talk about catnip tea in your handout. I know that was one of the things that I put in the handout. Most people think of raspberries and blackberries. They think of the berries, which they do have wonderful berries. This is a thornless blackberry, and this is a Mysore tropical raspberry. Doesn't need chill hours. That will produce black raspberries here. Both of these, raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries, all can make a nice tea. And blackberries and raspberries actually have some benefits for regulating hormonal issues with women. So there's some advantages there.
Could you repeat that again? What was that one again?
Medicinally, that's what I'm told. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a grow guy, but that's just what I'm told. This is what I'm told. Lemongrass is an easy one to grow. I suggest a lot of people to plant lemongrass around their patios, because as the breeze blows through that, take a smell of that. As the breeze blows through it, it gives that nice lemony smell, and then that helps keep some of the bugs, just like citronella. They don't like that lemony smell. It keeps some of the bugs away from your patio. So this is a great plant to grow. Easy one to grow, an easy one to propagate, easy one to make tea out of. And it's also essential for Thai cooking. If you like Thai food, then you have to grow lemongrass. That is the trinity of Thai. Is lemongrass, Thai ginger, and kefir lime leaves. We plant those in a big pot like your blueberry pots together as the trinity of Thai. So when you're using it for culinary like that, it's actually this part of the plant. So I could replant that and I could propagate another lemongrass from that. But to use it culinarily, you use about that much. You use that bulbous base at the bottom, almost like an onion. You peel off the toughest leaves from the outside, and then you chop that real fine, and you put that in your soup with your kefir lime leaves and your Thai ginger, and that is Thai soup. You can put like a chicken bouillon base in there if you're so inclined, but you don't necessarily need it. It makes a wonderful soup by itself. So this is a plant I'm going to leave with you guys today, because I think you need one around here. This is one of our we have lots of favorite teas at the school farm, but this is truly one of our favorites. We grow this out in front of the greenhouse every year. It's planted right now about this size, and it'll be taller than me come harvest time in the fall. It will have hundreds, each one can have hundreds of blooms on them. And this is the red zinger hibiscus. Its real name is Roselle hibiscus, and it is called Jamaican sorrel in some parts of the world. In the Caribbean, it's called Jamaican sorrel. It is a vegetative crop. You can cut these young tips off and cook them like spinach. You can saute them a little garlic and olive oil. Maybe put a little butter in there, and so they're a leaf crop. And then when it starts having flowers, it has a beautiful peach-colored flower, hibiscus flower. And then after the flower dies, the flower calyx, or the base of the flower, continues to grow and get fat and fleshy. And that's what you peel off to make the red zinger tea out of. You peel off the calyx petals, and you can dry them and keep them all winter long and make tea all winter long. And so as you travel the world, especially in the Mideast, just like we drink sweet tea, black sweet tea here in the South, the red tea that you get is from this plant right here. And this is a very, very common tea. When I was in Egypt, we'd go be out in the hot all day long, and you come in, and first thing they do is serve you a hot cup of hibiscus tea. And they say that keeps you cool. So inside, after you've peeled that calyx off and used, you can use them either fresh or dried. To me, it seems like dried, they make a little stronger tea, but fresh, they're easy to use as well. And then inside that calyx, after you've peeled them off, is a little acorn. And then you let that acorn dry and you peel it apart, and then each acorn has like 50 seeds for next year's production. This is not a hibiscus that is perennial. It won't, even in the greenhouse, it knows it's winter and won't really make it through the winter very well. We know, of course, mints make wonderful teas, and I've got spearmint and peppermint here. So spearmint makes a wonderful, easy cup of tea, and then also we use especially peppermint, because we grow a lot of peppermint. The variety of peppermint that we grow is actually Mahita mint. So it has a lot of uses, but we use this in our lemonade commonly when we make lemonade, which we do for most breaks. We'll put a little bit of mint in there with the lemons, and that makes a wonderful drink, a refreshing drink. Another lemony plant that you can use for tea is lemon verbena. And lemon verbena, as opposed to lemon balm, is actually a little sweeter. And it's used a lot in confections, desserts. So lemon verbena is another one to use. Here's one that I discovered from one of my interns recently that I'd never really thought of as a tea. Who recognizes this?
Magnolia?
Loquat. Loquat. So loquat is a fruit, an oddball fruit that actually has fruit on it. To us, what's seemingly in the middle of the winter, you know, like February to March, it'll have fruit. A plum, Japanese plum, they also call them, a little fuzzy plum, most of the time fuzzy, but there are some varieties that are smooth. But the loquat leaves have a lot of health benefits and can be made into a tea also. So you would take a frond like this and pull the leaves off and dehydrate them, and then make tea just like regular black tea. So this is another wonderful, easy to use tea to make. This one is near and dear to me because it has a lot of historical aspects to it. That was one thing I thought was funny. You can actually buy catnip tea in the store too. You know, so if you don't make it, so this is entrepreneurship. I mean, you're taking a herb that anybody can grow in a pot anywhere and turning it into a product that starting your own little tea bar. How cool would that be? You know, where you're gonna go out and, I was even thinking on the way over here, how cool would that be to have a little tea bar where customers could go out and pick the leaves of, I think I'll have this one, and then break it off, you know, bring it in there, they quick dry it and make your tea, you know, that would be unique. So along that entrepreneurship vein, somebody took a plant that historically was extremely important to the Southeast, Yupon holly, and turned it into something that people like myself are paying $12 for, this little can of a weed that grows in the coastal areas everywhere in the Southeast. The Indians, this was an extremely important cultural part of their diet. This was the black drink, and if anybody knows anything about the history of the Tamaquan Indians and the Indians in the southeast, the Gualis and the Tamaquans, this was a ceremonial drink. And apparently, in reading through my history of that, it was also used as an everyday drink, but we mostly get accounts of the ceremonial aspects of it. They would fast for several days, and then the chiefs would fast for several days, and then they would drink copious amounts of this strong caffeinated tea until they started hurling, and whoever hurled last was the one that actually was the head honcho, and he made the decisions on that, whatever they were making the decision about. So it sounds really weird to us, but to them that was very important, and was an extremely important part of the way they made decisions. And so from that, it got the gross name Ilex vomitoria, and so nobody really, but Yupon holly is what it goes by as a common name. And so if you were in South America, you would probably be drinking this at your tea bar regularly, because yerba mate is what they call it in South America. And although that's not this particular holly, it is so closely related. Yerba mate is Ilex parmagesis, and this is Ilex vomitoria. But if you put them side by side, you probably would not be able to tell the difference. This one was dug up near my house, which I live in a coastal area, and there's lots of these on the islands, and I dig them up and I sell them for $10 a pop. But you can make, but that's not as bad as this guy. He sells them for $12 a pop. That's right. You can make, they pan roasted the leaves. So if I were going to make tea out of this, I would break the leaf off, and then you would strip the leaves off of the stem, and you can keep the little stems in there. You would put it in a dry frying pan, and you would pan roast it like you do coffee beans. Has anybody ever roasted their own coffee beans? That's what you do. You take a green coffee bean and you roast it in a pan. And so that's the way you would roast these leaves, and then you would process it like coffee after that. You would just either run it through a coffee maker or make cowboy coffee. Just put it in a pot with some water and boil it until it got nice and strong. And it is a caffeinated drink, so it's one of our caffeinated teas. This is an interesting one. This is a tea from Iguacio, Bahama, and this one's called Bahama berry. And another common name for it is Mujuan tea. And I'll let you smell this one. It's an easy one to grow, a great potted plant. You like that or no?
No.
It's an interesting smell. It's a little lemony to me. It grows on the craggy rocks in Iguacio, Bahama. It's the only place in the world that it's native to. If you Google Bahama berry or Mojuan tea, what you're going to find out is bonsai guys are yah-yah over this plant. Most of your hits are going to be bonsai guys who take the plant and turn it into a beautiful little bonsai tree, like I've started to train this one to. It has a cute little flower, and it's a little white flower, and it's edible. And it has a cute little yellow fruit, and it's edible as well. So this makes a great potted plant. It won't survive outside in the winter here because of our freezes, but makes a great tea and a great potted plant. And then for my last, so if you're going to grow your own tea garden, a wonderful thing to have in your tea garden is stevia. So stevia is our natural sweetener, and when I make little bowl gardens of tea gardens, stevia is almost always included in there, because as I brew my tea, so if I have a tablespoonful of tea leaves, I would put about that much of stevia in the pot and boil it with it, and then that would make a nice sweet tea that is much better for you than some of our sweeteners that we have on the market. This is a new one that I've just recently started making tea at. I just did this tea workshop for the Jacksonville Herbal Society recently, and we brewed up about I don't know, about 5 or 6 teas at the event, and this was one of their favorites. This is Hung Ngoc spinach from Vietnam, and it has a lot of anti-cancer, anti-cholesterol properties, and so it's really interesting as being a beneficial plant. You can make tea out of it like I did, or you can take and steam the tips and cook it just like regular spinach. So not only can I put this in a pot of water, I can dry this and I can keep it as a tea for in the off times of the year. I can make tea out of it fresh, and then also I can make it into a confection. This is like one of my favorite little dessert things. You can take these little splays, so this is a splay now. I can take that and I can dredge that into a light pancake batter, quick fry it, sprinkle a little powdered sugar over the top, and it's better than any funnel cake you've ever had. It's like eating pure honey. So all the sweetness of these flowers are in it, and so this is a great thing. So what is this? What kind of bush is this? Anybody recognize it?
Recognize it, but I'm not sure the name.
This is elderberry. So this is one of our Florida natives.
And this is actually edible, just raw.
I think it needs to be cooked.
Okay.
I think it needs to be cooked because when we make tea out of it, we boil it. I don't think it would hurt you, but it makes a wonderful honey. And so each one of these is if the bees pollinate these, each one of these is going to turn into a small berry, about the size of a BB, and it's going to be dark purple like your blueberries. And then I make a great immunity boosting syrup. This berry is full of all kinds of antioxidants, and I make a cough syrup out of this. It's like taking Airborne. And so every fall, when these are in full bloom and full berry, I pick lots of these and I make an immunity boosting syrup for it, and I keep it all winter long. And then if you feel a cold coming on, you start taking a tablespoon of that once or twice a day, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, so elderberries, they're edible raw?
Elderberries are not recommended raw.
Okay.
Elderberries are recommended to be cooked, and so they make a great jam, they make a great syrup, and they make a great wine. But they're not one of the things that are recommended raw. I have eaten them raw. They're